Hello friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. My name is Rich Brown. I hope you are all doing very well. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about expression and articulation because I feel like there's something that we can do, or we can at least focus on, because some of you might be doing this already. But there's something that we can really focus on to help us add a little bit more expression and a little bit more articulation and emotion in the lines that we play. And that has everything to do with the very simple idea of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So what do I mean by that? I mean taking this approach to almost any exercise. If I'm playing a scale, volume, if I'm playing a scale, you can hear that with the right hand. Here I'm playing a B flat major scale, by the way. But as I'm playing that scale, you can hear that I'm picking every note with my right hand. But what I can do is create a little bit less work for the right hand and focus more on what's happening with the left hand. Now, if I look at the scale itself, you can see I've got 2 notes on the E string, and then the rest of the strings have 3 notes. So 2 notes, 3 notes, 3 notes, 3 notes. So what I can do is pluck the first note of each of these strings and then simply just hammer on the rest of the notes. So this is going to be a bit of a strength builder for the left hand, which is really great. But you're also really working on articulation, which is like, that's what gives you your voice, your individual sound. It's your phrasing, your articulation, your expression. So check this out. If I play a B flat major scale, plucking every note, there you go. There's a certain sound that's associated with that. Now, check this out. If I play just the first note of each note grouping on each different string, 2 notes, 3 notes, 3 notes, 3 notes, it gives it a different sound. And I can do the same thing descending on the scale. I can pull off on each of the strings. So that gives me this pattern. So there's a little more of a languid sound happening. It's very legato. And I like that. You know how I always say how important it is to just enjoy the simplest exercises? This is one of those times where I can just play a major scale and really appreciate the beauty in it by adding a little bit of this expression, a very simple means to achieve that, more expressive, more emotive kind of sound. Again, all I'm doing is recognizing the fact that with the major scale, I've got 2 notes on the first string, and then the other strings are all 3 notes. So I just simply pluck the first note of each grouping. To me, that's a really gorgeous sound. I really dig it. So that can be the first exercise. The first exercise is just to play a major scale using this idea. Again, less work for the right hand, a little bit more work and a little more strength building in the left hand, especially with each of the individual fingers. I got a question recently about strengthening the little finger of the left hand. This is a great way to work on that. I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that in a future video. But for now, this is something that you can do. So I'm taking a B flat major scale and assigning one finger per fret as we normally do, and then I just play the way I would normally play. But now, recognizing that I'm playing 2-4, 1-2-4, 1-3-4, 1-3-4. So here I'm really working on strengthening the fingers of the left hand. Again, I'm demonstrating this. You don't have to play it at the same pace that I am. Take it as slow as you need to take it. You're not in a race with anybody. You're not in competition with anybody. All you want to do is be able to get comfortable with these exercises, all of them, every single one of them. The next thing that we can do is apply this concept and this technique to the pentatonic scales. This is very cool. Now with the pentatonic scales, it makes things a little bit easier because you basically get 2 notes on each string. If I play a B flat major pentatonic scale, there's my root to the 2nd, 3rd to the 5th, 6th to the root, 2nd to the 3rd. So you can see I applied the same principle. What I did was I plucked the first note, hammer on to the second note. Pluck the first, hammer on. And then do the same thing in reverse where I can pull off. Now I can switch to the B flat. Let's say we switch to the B flat minor scale and do the same thing. So root, minor 3rd, 4th, 5th, minor 7th. There's the octave, the root again. There's the 3rd, there's the 4th. Very simple. This is a very simple concept and a very simple exercise, but it really gets you to focus on the main idea, the idea of expression and articulation. So here's what I can do. I can simply play the B flat major pentatonic scale ascending and descending, and then switch to the B flat minor pentatonic scale ascending and descending, which just gives me this beautiful pattern. B flat major pentatonic. Let's go 2 times on each. Now I'll switch to the minor. Two times. Listen, where these kinds of techniques really shine is when we start to get into all of the sequential patterns that we apply to our scales when we practice. In other words, here, let's take the exercise that we did in the last video. In the last video, I took 4-note ascending and descending patterns on the pentatonic scale. If you don't remember, all I'm doing is playing 4-note sequences starting on each degree of the pentatonic scale. So there's my scale, and then I just run these sequences of 4 notes. So 4 notes from the first, second note, third note, fourth note, fifth note, and then back. So when I apply this hammer-on pull-off technique to the scale, listen to the difference. If I pluck every note on that exercise, that has a certain sound. But check this out. Watch what happens when I switch to this technique that we're talking about. my left hand is still doing the same amount of work. My right hand is doing much less work, but I can also really accent some of the notes that I do end up plucking. So I can bring some notes out a little bit more and bring some notes back a little bit when I actually pluck the notes of this exercise. To me, that sounds gorgeous. So how about we do this? Same thing, 2 times on the major pentatonic, and then we'll switch to 2 times on the minor pentatonic, which gives us this gorgeous pattern. Check it out. Now minor. Very cool, right? Now let's go back to the major scale. And then we can apply this technique to the patterns that we would normally play on a major scale. So, you know, like 3-note ascending patterns, thirds, 4-note patterns. Different things that can really help to bring more expression and more articulation to our regular everyday exercises. Check this out. If I play ascending thirds, cool things can start to happen. Ascending thirds on a B-flat major scale. You've played this before. Check this out. I'm going to play that again. And then I'm going to switch to what we're talking about and add a little bit more expression and articulation. This is great. Check this out. So first, plucking every note. Now check this out. And I can add a little bit more swing to this if I want, which gets me closer to this real kind of like John Scofield sort of phrasing and expression, which I really dig. So check this out. I can do the same thing with like a 3-note pattern. So first 3 notes of the scale, and then I go back to the first note. Second, so on and so forth. Check this out. So good. So much happening there. Let's take a 4-note pattern. First 4 notes of the scale, right? So here's what I want you to do. Now we can play any exercise in any number of ways. You can work on your speed in plucking every note of the exercise, or you can treat the scale or the exercise in this different way, where you're really focusing on expression and articulation by adding the hammer-ons and the pull-offs in each exercise. So here's how I want you to approach this. Let's go back and forth between the major and the minor so that you play on the major scale pattern 2 times and then immediately switch to the minor scale pattern 2 times. And you can loop that over and over again, or you can just do it 2 times and then you're done. Either way, you're really working on strengthening the left hand, and you're also working on playing these patterns in a much more musical and a much more expressive way, which I love. You're working on every aspect of your musicality. I love the exercises that allow you to work on your technique, but also have a very high element of musical application and a very sort of melodic sound that can easily be applied to any musical situation you might find yourself in. And I love that about these exercises. So I'm not necessarily talking about playing jazz or rock or funk or whatever. This helps you no matter what style of music you might be playing. So let's go through it one more time. These are the exercises that we've done so far. On the major scale, well, you can take any exercise that you want. The ones that we did today was the thirds, ascending thirds, 3-note patterns, and 4-note patterns. And then with the pentatonic scale, we had just ascending and descending on the scale itself, and then 4-note patterns. That's plenty of work right there. So when you do this, when you do these exercises, you can also focus on different tempos, play them at different speeds. Maybe you want to work on developing a little bit more speed on the bass. You can play these in so many different ways and really focus on so many different aspects of your musicality. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, I'm going to leave it there. And please do click like if you like this video. If you see some value in these lessons, you have the ability to donate to the channel, which is always greatly appreciated, especially during these times. And have fun, y'all. Have fun above all. And I hope this video helps with you in your journey to become the best bass player or the best musician that you can possibly be. My name is Rich Brown. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Brownstone. Peace and love, and I'll see you in the next video.